Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the BSR MX5 Money Cup here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's the Roval. We're still in America after our Indianapolis race last week, and we are here in Charlotte. I'm Austin. I am joined by the wonderful Marco Brabranera, and I hope you are having a good time, Marco.
I am absolutely loving it. This track provided for some great entertainment the first time it was run in real life during, the past season, the past season of a NASCAR competition. So, I am expecting more of the same here with this, very, very competitive 24 car field. At least these are the drivers that were signed up for the practice session, and 3 races full of drama. This is a track that certainly has, Austin, a variety of choke points where the cars will be forced to run close, door to door, banging wheels, the various chicanes, and of course, the very, very, very infamous Heartburn Turn 1.
Yeah, turn one is immediately after the start, so expect a lot of moves being made in the braking zone during there, and maybe a bit awkward diving. As qualifying has finished, that flagman ecstatically waves his flag very fast, good form on there, and I think we're done with qualifying, and they're about to grid up, so let's bring you the results. Starting on pole, it's Matthew Emery, and on second from the United States, a fellow commentator, if y'all are familiar with the BSR MX5 Pro Series, it's the commentator, the American, the Pro MX5 driver. He's not paying me to say this. Hashtag he is. It's Tyler Maxson. He's doing a little bit of a Easter egg and jumping into this race. He told me that he's going to hop in there. He'll be starting from the back, and he's categorized in the pro. He's joined by Adrian Hendy, starting in third. Mikey Key, Yarsal Seblo, Carl Jacqueline, Alexis Luis, Edward May, Jazz Banks, Scott Malcolm, Andy Maxwell, Steve Cooley, McBarry, Dale Bennison, Russell Davis, Mark Westwood, Phil Regan, Matthias Temmie, Steve Hansford, Alan Toon, Ryan Walker, Wouter von Essen, David Ayers, and Carl Hardy starting at the end. It's a 24-car grid, and it's going to be a fast one here in the Roval as the cars are setting off right now.
Absolutely, we are seeing already some drivers. Adrian Andy, we saw from the pits. Matthew Emery, I think, is waiting to get an end-of-line penalty. I'm still surprised to see Tyler Maxson in first place right now. Maybe we'll drop to the back after after the start.
I don't think he knows about the pro starting from the back because he doesn't commentate on the amateur thing as well as the other pro with him beside there. But I think he might just pull off to the side or just go straight on in the Roval and just let everyone pass. He hasn't really told me what he's going to do for the start. And to avoid a penalty, he's probably just going to go straight on to avoid that chicane. But as we go through the Roval, there are some key points of the track. This is the short shoot straight going up into the rising off-camber right-hander. Now, a lot of cars get unsettled, especially in these MX5s as they're going side-by-side through here. So expect a lot of moves to be made around the outside if there's a car going side-by-side through there. This banked left-hander, very reminiscent of NASCAR. Want to clip that wall and just run across the track as you go up the bank. So this is where the main speed and drafting portion comes up here. You want to have your moves made because if you look at the minimap, there's a little tiny chicane that you do not want to go side by side into. But if you want to make the moves here, this is where you make them. As we are going to take this time as all the cars are making the way around the track to say hello to all of our fantastic viewers over on YouTube and Twitch. Hi, Charles. Hi, Lampus. Hope you guys are having a good time. Hope you guys are ready for a great 3 races here in Charlotte at the Roval. 24 car action, but yeah, this is the chicane that we were talking about. You do not want to go double wide through here. Now, Charlotte, they did announce a revamped version of this chicane. When that comes to iRacing, it'll probably be 8 years from now. Just going off the Silverstone method.
I shouldn't laugh, but it's very accurate.
But as the Porsche safety car speeds up and pulls off, I think it's time. We're about to see Tyler Maxson leads everyone off. I think Matthew Emery's also up there with Tyler. So we're going to see the pros move off as they enter the chicane right now. The lights are still off. And here they go. We're going green, and we're going racing here in Charlotte. Tyler Maxson actually jumps the start, and wow, he's actually staying out in the lead. So Tyler, before the race, he didn't really tell me what he was going to do, but I think he just broke all the rules and just stayed in the front because he's just entering this as a one race. So the American and Mikey Key side by side going into the right-handers in the Roval. Mikey Key overtaking the inside of Tyler Maxson. This is British sim racing, so it's going to be British versus American in this. And on his home soils, we are going side by side with Carl Jacqueline and Edward May side by side, going through the dip into the left-hander above the riser. A little bit of grinding onto the wall as we're going to hop up with Sebula, Maxson, and Mikey Key. As these three are now entering the oval, we got ourselves a drag party here in Charlotte. As that inside line for Edward May leading off on Carl Jacqueline. Now, hopefully they go sideways through here. We're riding on board Mikey Key as we see Tyler Maxson hopping all over these curves. Hopefully it doesn't damage his floor, but it looks like Maxson is going to look around the outside. He looks like he had a bit of overspeed, but he's going to set himself up coming into the chicane. Tyler Maxson, he's absolutely sent it. Oh, big punts. That's Sebula. And 3 races in a row continuing on from Indianapolis. This is his 4th race in a row where he's had an incident come into him. And, he just can't get a break.
He really can't, absolutely. Towed back to the pits. Bad luck for him, and that was very reminiscent of the Jimmy Johnson-Martin Truex wreck in that same place.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate for Sebula. There's a massive pack of cars behind the front 3, but Tyler Maxson, the American, leading it out here at the Roval. He's got Mikey Key of the Result clothing car all over him. Tyler Maxson was telling me last week as we were at Indianapolis, he was very excited to come and race here for this one-off. He paid his entry fee. I think he paid a little bit more than he should have. But we got a little bit of fight with Mikey Key. He's got a speed on the outside. He was stuck in that dress. As they're going side by side, coming down the back straight now. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? Do not go side by side through here. Tyler Maxson kept his nose in there, trying to upset Mikey Key, but he does not. And here comes Edward May to try to make a move, as for some reason Steve Hansford is in the lead. That's a little bit of a glitch. This is the battle for first, not the battle for second, but that'll get fixed very soon. But Mikey Key leads out Tyler Maxson, as now that's fixed the battle for first. That was weird. As they head once more onto another lap here in the Roval. 1 minute 27 lap time. Great time. Edward May has one of the fastest, but the fastest time belongs to Jez Banks of a 1:26.76. But it looks like Mikey Key's actually pulling away from Maxson and May. But as they're in this infield Roval section, a lot can happen. As a lot of checking up happens as just Maxson, he's just on the back end, glued to Mikey Key's cars. They're heading into the oval section now. This is where Tyler Maxson can get that overtake on to sit in that draft and pull away. But also don't count out Edward May. He might want a piece of this pie. So we're looking at the kilometers per hour right here, getting over 180, dropping off a little bit. We might get up to 190 entering this chicane is just going to keep it planted on the back end, getting a lot of speed. He's going to fly out to the outside. Overspeed is gaining a lot, but that draft and the wind picking up on him as Edward May's all over the rear end of Tyler Maxson. Now Max is sitting onto the back end. Will May try something up onto the inside? Here comes May. May's got Maxson. May's got a curb, but Edward May sends it up into second place. Great move by Edward May right there of the Fury Sim Sport Academy.
Fantastic stuff. I mean, that's why we love this racetrack, no? Very, very close battles all over the field. You can see right now Jacolet, Maxwell, Benison, Davis, and Reagan. This is the fight for 7th place, but this fight for the lead. Now, I think that we can say with certainty that Jess Banks, and also I think, you know, series newcomer Alexis Louis for Fury Sim Sport Academy as well. These 5 guys are certainly looking good for the race victory.
Now, I must mention once again that Tyler Maxson...
Oh! Wow! That was a massive wreck for Jacolet and Maxwell, with Maxwell getting some massive hang time over the curb. That was absolutely crazy.
Disastrous. Both of the OSL HCon racing cars, I believe, are out now. Let's see a replay of that.
Look at the massive hang time that he got. Look at that.
Oh, very unfortunate for Carl Jacolet right there. So we return to Maxson, Key, May, and Banks. Here comes May. He gets into the back of Tyler Maxson. Maxson recovers it. What a fantastic recovery from the tap in the back by May. May on the inside of Maxson. May got the lead in. May's going to send it up the inside. Tyler is not going to be happy about that with that tap because he was setting up a move for Mikey Key. And Mikey Key has got a 1-second gap to everybody. And Maxson should be furious about that move from May with that tap in the back. And we might see a little bit of American justice coming, which I'm kind of cheering for.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I think that if they had one design in mind for this racetrack, you know, when it was rebuilt and, you know, refurbished, it was, you know, giving a chance for... Oh!
Oh, Mikey...
Oh, May's around! This is going to be a pile-up.
Has absolutely plowed him!
Oh, and he stopped in the middle of the track trying to get back again. Malcolm goes through. Wow. He clipped the wall.
2 mistakes in 1 lap, and May has dropped down to 7th place. Well, he's dropping down even more. I think he's... Yeah. Oh, he's got a lot of damage on that car. Let's take a replay of that. He's got a lead on May and gets onto the curb, goes wide and just had too much in it and just grinds to a halt. Back end comes out and Tyler Maxson just plows him into the side, giving him all that damage. That might have also given Tyler some damage. Let's right on board with the American.
Yeah, that was a big hit. I mean, these cars are so fragile, you know, so it's going to be tough as Edward May finally makes his way to the pits. As you see, that is Davis getting past Phil Reagan with a very interesting livery, I have to say.
It's going for the Digi Camo Red Bull car.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
That's a privateer livery. He can run whatever he wants, and that is something that he's running. Speaking of privateers, Tyler Maxson running his own livery as well. That's also the livery he runs in real life.
Yeah, exactly. You can see it on his website, and nice touch to have, you know, the same livery in real life and also on iRacing.
As we are just passing the 8-minute mark. Very chaotic 8 minutes at the start, as that Red Bull just looks nice. All right, but there's really a fight up in front of us, and I believe that is Jess Banks and Luis having a little small battle for second.
Oh, that
but
is...
look.
Yeah, Andy getting past Toon, yeah. And Footer Vanessa coming through, so the pros are basically coming through the back end of the field. Let's go back to the front. We are in lap 7 out of, well, 15 minutes is going to be the scheduled distance. As per usual, we will see if for race 2 and 3 we switch to number of laps or to the time still. And look
here
at that.
comes Luis. Absolutely just holding the inside line onto the infield. Now, Jess Banks might have a little bit of overspeed on Luis, but Luis is the fastest person on track with a... Well, these two are both the fastest people on track. Both of them setting 125's lap times. 125.59 is Alex Luis, and Jess Banks also getting into the 125s. I don't see anyone else in the 125s other than Wouter van Essen down in 12th place. But Luis just flying away from Jess Banks, so Jess Banks might still be suffering from a little bit of chaos from that start as they fall down to third, but Luis flying away in second place.
Here we go once again. You know, in many cars, some cars, this particular corner here is famous for, you know, breaking your engine if you take it too hard on the curb, especially the outside curb. You see in the Euro V8, for example, also the B fixed, I think, B class NASCAR. As we go, Maxon on the inside.
Oh,
There's some
Maxon
contact.
Oh,
Banks is around. Oh, it's got Malcolm get up. Yeah. So let's see, because I don't know if Malcolm got a piece of it. We shall have a view from Malcolm's car. No, everyone went through safely there.
I'm not sure if that was on. That was definitely not on purpose. That's a racing incident, but that's very unfortunate for Banks right there. As Davis and Emery around the outside. Davis tried to set it up the inside and upset it on the apex, but Emery just says, "I'm not taking that, and I'm just going to fly around the outside." Great move by Emery right there.
Of course, there are some drivers with that have no class assigned to them, so we will be given information after the first race.
Whether he's a pro.
Yeah, whether these guys are or not pro or not. But our leader, going through lap traffic, I might add, Mikey Key having, you know, in the end, he's having the calmest race possible there at the front. Little bit of battling, but then behind him all chaos happened. And, you know, usually this is what happens in the sprint MX5 races, as the lap car number 87, Steve Cooley, moves out of the way. You know, usually it's the guy who can stay in the front, I mean at the very front of the field, and avoid the mess behind him, usually is the one that ends up as the victor. But you see the lap times, much quicker Luis and Maxon as well, even faster. 1 second, Maxon was faster than Alexis Luis, so let's ride on board with Tyler Maxon here, and you can see he's really closing in on that Fury Sim Sport Academy old school livery, the black and silver that we learned to love and recognize in the past few seasons. As Steve Cooley is there, and he will diligently move out of the way.
Tyler's going to get a lot of speed on Steve. Oh my god!
That's a commentator's curse and a half.
Well, I said he's going to gain a lot of speed, but Steve Cooley is on his side, and he's rolling down the banking. There's hoods on, there's cars are going everywhere. It's thick smoke.
To find a good angle, which is not possible, I'm afraid. No, the commentator's curse was mine, because I said that, you know, Steve was going to move out of the way diligently, and sadly he was, you know, a little bit maybe too late in moving out of the way, and we got ourselves a big mess.
There's Steve Cooley getting onto his side. We're going to flip back just a little bit more, looking at Steve Cooley, the Scotsman. Here comes the old Fury car, just up the inside, had nowhere to go. Tyler actually merges the Fury car, and I believe he did get some damage from that, but that is a lot of broken suspension. He's nearly crab-walking that car. Now we have a battle for the lead. Maxon sends it up the inside on Mikey Key. Tyler Maxon, one of the most aggressive drivers I know. Man, he is also one of the fastest drivers I know around this track, and he's making itself seem that way. Now, he's not one of the most cleanest drivers, unfortunately, as Luis, unfortunately, brings his car back into the pits, but it's not over yet. We got 2 more races left as Maxon and Key lead out this race into the oval with 1 minute left I believe we're going to have a white flag race.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. Look at the, this car is probably the most slipstream sensitive car in all of the iRacing service. And of course, having basically the entirety of the Charlotte Motor Speedway 1.5 miles at your disposal really helps. Look how much quicker is Maxon through the chicane there on the backside. That is, I think, Steve Cooley's parked car. He decided to, join the action.
He's just gonna watch this.
Yeah, from the grass, which is a good idea. They also, maybe grab a stake from the crowd. Great braking here from Key. As you can see, he drops basically, he halves the gap. And here we go, white flag in the air.
One last time around the Roval in Charlotte. Maxon leads out Key. American versus... Where's Mikey Key from?
I think from the... he's from the UK and Ireland.
UK and I, but Maxon goes wide. Key up on the inside. Key holds it on the inside. And Key has the lead back and gets out. Now Tyler Maxon might have a run on him. He's getting a lot of speed. They're going to go side by side up through the rising turn. Coming out of the Roval section into the bank. Tyler Maxon gets into the side of him. They bang wheels and fenders, but Mikey Key stays in front. Tyler Maxon, that beat up Mazda MX5, closing in on the back of Mikey Key. And here comes Maxon up on the inside. Going to have the slipstream now, coming around the outside oval. Mikey Key having the inside line. I'm sorry if my microphone if it's clipping just a little bit. And these two are touching, going down NASCAR 1. And here comes Maxon. I believe Mikey Key let him go, but look at Malcolm and May. Malcolm and Banks, both of them getting up there, and Malcolm is now battling with Tyler Maxon. Tyler Maxon's totally confused right now because out of nowhere, here comes Scott Malcolm, and Malcolm up on the inside. He absolutely steals the lead. I think Maxon has I think Max is out of fuel.
You know, Scott Malcolm doesn't usually win, but when he wins, it's always in spectacular fashion. Fantastic stuff. Tyler Maxon in second, Mikey Key in third, Bennison in fourth, and Banks in fifth. I think that car we saw was actually the number 42 machine. I think that was Carl Giacolet. Wow, what a finish. It's not over yet. Look at this battle between Westwood and Davis for P10. Knowing Scott, he will be delighted for his win. Like I said, he doesn't win often, but when he wins, it's always, everyone is happy. Oh! No,
well,
that is not going.
They both got the course right there, so whoever's going to slow down first is going to get the win.
Westwood gets the penalty, and I think Davis gets the penalty. They are going to get a penalty, both of them, because there is no time to serve the slowdown in such a small. So we'll have to keep an eye on Westwood and Davis. They might get basically sent to the back of their lap. So as Alan Toon is coming home with a little bit of. I caught a glimpse. We were following the battle into turn 1 a couple of laps ago, and I saw. It's so close to the exit of the infield. I saw this car smashing into the wall.
He was parked on the exit where May was stuck in, where he grinded up on the wall, and that battle with Maxon. But he's got that car moving again. Alan going to be finishing third. He's going to give us a little bit of show, is he?
Disappointing.
Go for the jump.
We want to say thanks to Andrew for subscribing on Apex Racing TV. And certainly I hope you enjoyed this first race and all the viewers. And like they say, this is the first of 3 and usually the more calmer of the races. So we shall see.
If this is calm, then prepare for utter chaos in the upcoming races. And what a finish.
Look at the steering wheel.
Malcolm. Okay, he got across the line. That's all we care about. He got across the line. Alan Team finishes at 13th, and I believe that is it. But here we are watching the replay of Scott Malcolm of Result Clothing 4 wide. And I think what caused all this was Edward May getting off the gas, letting Tyler Maxon by. Scott Malcolm was just drafting Carl Giacolet, and coming through here, Tyler Maxon is just going so slow. He pulls up. I think he suffered it. I don't know if it was a penalty or what, but his pace is absolutely dropped off, and Scott Malcolm steals a win. See, the green light's on in in Tyler's car, but he's running in low revs. I don't know if he ran out of fuel or something, but that is very confusing what happened to Tyler Maxson. We'll find out after the race. And what the heck is that car doing?
Here we go
Okay.
with the, yeah, we should have the race results and they should be on your screen right now.
Finishing in first, it's Scott Malcolm, followed by the American Tyler Maxson in his MX5 Amateur Cup debut. Few questions about his starting procedure. We'll get that figured out. Dale Benison finishes in third, followed by Jez Banks, Matthew Emery, Phil Regan, Adrian Henry, Edward May, Russell Davis, Jarsal Sebla, Mikey Key, Mark Westwood, Alan Tu, Carl Jacqueline, Matthias Temi, Alexius Luis, Steve Cooley, Ryan Walker, Wutavan Esses, Steve Hansford, Andy Maxwell, Mick Berry, David Ayers, and Carl Hardy finishing up at the end, and 14th down to 24, a lap down.
So we have confirmation in the chat that Mikey Key has run out of fuel, so maybe the same problem for Tyler as well. That white flag was a little bit, and these guys are trying to shave as much weight as possible from these cars in order to, be performing in the sprint races. So maybe they were going, with as little fuel as possible. And sometimes that weird, white flag with a few seconds left really catches you off guard. 15 cars eligible for the reverse grid. Matthias Temmi is the final one. And so let's bring the reverse wheel on the screen. Here it is, beautiful as per usual. Let's
We do
roll it.
accept bribes.
It is -2, and when it's -2, -3, and -4, it is a full reverse. So 15 cars eligible, 15 cars will be reversed. Matthias Stem will start in pole position in front of Alan Toon in second place. Sorry, yeah, in front of Carl Jacolet, apologies. Alan Toon, Mark Westwood, Mikey Key will start in fifth place. So we shall see how these guys will react after what has been a very, very, very tough and chaotic race one, Austin.
Yeah, one race down, two to go. The reverse wheel has spoken, and it's going to be utter chaos now. And this is where the BSR MX5 Money Cup gets the hype going. One race down, two to go. I hope you guys are ready for another two exciting races. Reverse grid has been decided, and we'll be right back after a few messages in Charlotte.
growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome back to the BSR MX5 Monday Cup for Race 2 after a very extended long break. Sorry about that. Little things happen behind the scenes, but a little rain delay never hurts anybody. Here's your grid for Race 2. Del Bedison starts off at front, followed by Scott Malcolm, Alexis Lewis, Steve Hansford, Tyler Maxis, Yaroslav Sebla, Edward May, Andy Maxwell, Jess Banks, Wouter van Essen, Adrian Hendy, Ryan Walker, Phil Regan, as they're riding up and ready to go because we're at a standing start. Sorry not to get everyone's name, but we got a drag race of Scott Malcolm and Dale Benison side by side going into turn one. Scott Malcolm around the outside, followed by Dale Benison. Scott Malcolm, though, in the lead, and oh, there's a crash in the background, and that is Jess Banks. They've gone into the pits, and there's Tyler Maxon up on the inside, making it go 3 wide. Jumping up into third, there was a little bit of issue with the reverse grid, so the wheel did lie to y'all, unfortunately. But Scott Malcolm, race 1 winner, in the lead again, followed by Dale Benson and Tyler Maxon. Close racing action here at the front. As I must clarify to those who weren't looking at the live chat, Tyler Maxon is an amateur driver in this series, but a pro in real life. We got confused with wording, and so that's why he was blue, not green last time. Okay, sorry for the confusion.
Yeah, and now he's back to a lovely green color, and already looking very, very feisty as he's fighting for second place. Oh, look at that.
Curb hit. Now, we were saying, he was talking to us during the break, and he mentioned that he had a lot of damage on that car, that he was drifting around these corners, and he's very aggressive in traffic, and he's been showing that right now as he's getting way on the back end of Dale Benison right now, trying to get around there. Oh, car goes wide, he avoids the wall. That's Steve Hansford.
Yes, it is.
And we're looking at Sebula and Mike and Andy Maxwell. Maxwell getting ahead of Sebula. Sebula going to try to go for the switchback now, but oh, up on the inside, it's the results car of Mikey Key. Just that old school Fury car, making it look nice. Tyler Maxon going very wide off the exit, as well as all the other guys. And there you got a nice, comfortable lead out here in the inside oval. Cars going all over the place. That's Maxwell, Sebula, and Key in this chaotic battle for 4th place. And I don't want to leave this battle, honestly. Mikey Key had a lot of experience up in the front, sitting behind Maxwell. Sebula is dancing all over Maxwell. He's going to try to make a move around the outside, but here comes Mikey Key. He's going to try to get 2 cars in one outside of NASCAR 2. Don't split the arrow like that, Robin Hood. And around the outside goes Sebula. Maxwell right there. And, ooh, Mikey Key gets a big airtime. And there's smoke off, and that's Maxon's upside down. Tyler Maxon's upside down.
Oh dear. Must have had some issues at the chicane. Let's see once again.
I think that slow mode might come out.
Oh! I've seen many crashes at the chicane, but none like this. I mean, this was huge. The way he flipped. I mean, that was absolutely insane. Look at this. The car did a complete barrel roll. I mean, look at that from his own board. That was absolutely scary. And of course,
I've seen Tyler Maxon crash in real life. That was up there in one of his biggest hits. As the battle for 4th, well, the battle for 7th between Mikey Key and Barry. They're going at it, but oh, what a hit. Well, he's not going to be involved in the reverse grid for race 3, I must say.
Well, let's see. I mean, it's going to be certainly very, very tough for him to get back, you know, into, or did he retire the car? I think he retired the car. So we shall see, as we have this nice battle pack here for, you know, basically all the way down to 8th place, as we have
Maxwell's off.
Andy
Maxwell's
Maxwell
off.
into the wall.
Same spot, bus stop, 2 kills in race 2. Let's see what's happened to him. That car's missing an entire front bumper. So let's look at Maxwell right there, leading the pack. I saw a car clip the curb. Oh, he didn't even hit the curb, just lost it back in, got a tank slapper. The car just lost it on himself.
Yeah, and the car with nothing was Jess Banks, as you can see, with a bit of damage to his front end of the car.
They're involved in a crash at the start. Now the battle for second between Dale Benison and Yaroslav Sebula. Racing out Sebula. Been having a lot of bad luck in recent races, but this could be the turning point. There's a car that retired ahead of him. As we're gonna hop to the battle for 5th place between Mikey Key, David Ayers, and Barry.
Result Clothing Train trying to, I think, get back to Carl Jacolet there in the front of the field. Jacolet sitting in 4th. As you can see, he's not that far away, so honestly I think if the Result Clothing guys work together, and I think they will be able to get back to their rival in no time, as they go once again on the chicane. We're seeing much, you know, more aggressive driving. Look at that Mick Barry
up on the inside.
And that's a move and a half on your teammate. I mean, some of the drivers were a bit more tentative in the first race around the chicane. We are seeing them taking some more liberties there at the backstretch chicane with, you know, mixed results so far. But safe to say that they are now, the Result Clothing trio, are on the rear end of number 42, Carl Jacolet. Scott Malcolm enjoying another very, very nice ride at the front, but Yaroslav Sebula looking for his first win in BSR competition. Very, very close, 1 second, and they had basically an identical lap last time around. And, you know, the Polish driver really, you know, wanting to have a good result after some unlucky races earlier in the season. As now Mikey Key, one of the contenders in race 1, is about to put on, I think, a move, try to overtake Carl Jacolet in front of him.
Mikey Key sitting on the back end of Carl Jacolet, slipstream pulling him up close. So now the question is, where's Mikey Key going to go? I believe he's going to go to the outside, coming out of NASCAR 2. So they're going almost side by side. Mikey Keys is going to sit it back there, let Carl Jacolet lead him through the bus stop chicane. And now Mikey Key, he might have a run. Carl Jacolet holds him off. We're going back to the battle for first. Sebula and Malcolm and Sebula. Sebula now has the lead. He's going to go around the outside, almost overtook it a little bit too much, gets over the curbs, hops over there, almost gets to the wall, but Malcolm actually grinds into the wall, and that's going to hurt his exiting speed, because he definitely had a better exit than Sebula, but Sebula leading it out for lap 6 out of 11 here in race 2.
Oh, Mikey Key in the wall. That's going to be damage on the front left. I was a bit surprised because Malcolm must have made a mistake at the chicane, because he really lost a lot of time, you know, compared to Sebula. It was 1.2 seconds back, and then the overtake was made. So let's see if we can see where the mistake might have happened, because
you can lose the car anywhere here, and it definitely was to the bus stop chicane. He just got very loose, but they were side by side going through there. So I think it was coming on to NASCAR 1 and 2. He might have gotten into the wall. We're looking at the live race right now. Sebula pulling out 8/10 lead. Back end kicking out on him. Hopefully that bad luck doesn't creep up on him, as Westwood has a very damaged front end, and Davis in front of him has a very damaged rear end.
What's his number on the Mark Westwood's Sunstrip?
207371.
Is his phone number? I don't know. Problem is that, you know, he's having a little bit of connection issues, so we have to jump out of his car. Certainly that is going to be problematic for himself and for Davis. Davis trying to, you know, run away from Westwood, and, you know, not having that car blinking in and out behind you is always, you know, a little bit scary, especially in close quarter battling like we are having right now. Dale Bennison under attack from Carl Jacolet. Jacolet certain looking good.
Yeah, they've had a masterful race in Indianapolis and want to capitalize on it. Unfortunately, last race they had an incident at the start and fell down the field and not really want to call home about. Well, certainly to his mom say he's okay. But Carl Jacolet sitting in the back, so hopping onto a replay with Russell Davis. Who's going wide? And yep, that blinking car. Does he lose it right here? Just taps the wall.
They both went wide, yeah.
Okay, both of them just tapped the wall. As we're going back to the year one racing team battle for third between Dale Bennison and Carl Jacolet. Here comes Carl Jacolet around the outside of NASCAR 2. Well, NASCAR 4. And here comes Carl Jacolet setting it up on the inside of the chicane. And in third place now is Carl Jacolet.
So you are admitting, you know, that there are only 2 corners on an oval, not 4.
Yes, I don't count 4 turns on an oval. They all look the same.
Steve Cooley slow on the left side, lap down, moving out of the way. Involved in there was a mess at the start. I'm sure. Maybe we'll have a look at that at the end of the race. But some drivers, Just Banks comes to mind, were certainly involved in that pileup as David Ayres, Mikey Key, and Mick Barry continue to try and close down now Dale Bennison, of course. Here we go, Mick Barry. Looks like he's picked his next victim, and he's going to be the number 37 car side by side through NASCAR 1 and 2.
Nah, just 1.
Here we go.
Going side by side through. No one's looking to let up, and we're going to have side by side into the bus stop, and Barry gets it into the back corner, and Bennison gets sent into the wall, and Bennison back to the car goes flying. Absolutely got javelin into the side of him. Oh, go back to that car. We're about to have another issue right there. Yep, more cars have been involved. Bennison is drifting his car, making a nice set of 11 skid marks, as that was a massive crash. We need to go into the replay to stay on his car, because there were 2 cars that hit him.
Yes, absolutely. Here we go.
So this is what happened. Side by side with Barry, none of them. This is a race. No one really wants to give up any position, and he just gets tagged, comes into the wall, gets hit into there, and a car comes out of nowhere, just smacks him right there. And there's I believe that's Steve Cooley coming onto track right there. And I believe there was a near miss with Bennison right there.
Here's David Ayres, who was lifting, doing the right thing. Oh, he clipped the curb. Okay, bad luck there, because he did everything you should do in that situation, you know? Lift and wait what happens, but sadly hitting the curb did him no favor. Why is Mick Barry going so slow?
Well, he's the one who turned he's the one who turned him.
Yes, you are.
He's got that damage on the front end, also got that damage on the back end. He also went spinning, and that front hood is bent up a lot. That's going to be good for Mikey Key in the result clothing car. Now, you were saying race 2 was chaotic. Well, race 1 was certainly chaotic. This is race 2, and this is just insane.
What happened there? Because Mick Barry went... Oh, that's what happened to Mikey Key. He hit the wall. Oh, that's why he was going slow there. The 2 teammates, unfortunately, had, you know, unintended contact. Mikey Key hit the wall and then spun into the path of his teammate. Meanwhile, slowly but surely, well, not very slowly, of course, but surely, he is in first, Jaroslav Sebula from Poland, and looking to get his first ever BSR win. the taco train with only one car, unfortunately, but you know, that's the position that everyone wants to be in. He is going to get the white flag. He went past Scott Malcolm a few laps ago and has checked out 6.4, almost 5 seconds, 6.5 seconds in the lead, as you can see right now. The gap between the various drivers, there are only 10 cars eligible for the reverse right now, I think. So this is going to be interesting. But yeah,
insane.
white flag in the air.
Sebula, after having very disastrous races in the past, he's leading it out, but the battle is still going on. We got Ryan G. Walker around the inside of Russell Davis. The privateers racing with each other right there, but Russell Davis just sitting behind Walker as he takes up that 6th spot. As I see Davis looking up the inside. He was selling a dummy, but Walker wasn't buying as they both go over the curves for one more time around NASCAR 2.
Walker, the only surviving pro driver racing right now, and of course, not only our esteemed colleague, but also the winner of the official iRacing Advanced MX5 UK and Ireland overall championship last season in iRacing, and certainly, as you know, of course, due to the BSR series, how many of the best drivers in the world drive the MX5 are from UK and Ireland clubs, so certainly a great achievement for Ryan. Nice to have him back to, you know, get himself acquainted once again with the car. Jaroslav Sebula, the main protagonist of the day. Here we go. NASCAR 3 and 4 for him, the final chicane, and then it's going to be time to pop the champagne for the first time. His first victory in BSR competition after a long string of bad luck.
It's been a very bumpy road, but finally it's a road of redemption and victory as Jaroslav Sebula comes across the line to take the win finally. And I can tell you he's going to do a lot of donuts right here.
Gotta be careful not to get a black flag because other cars are still running. Scott Malcolm in second.
He doesn't care. He does not care. He's got the win.
Giacoletti in third. Here we go with Mick Barry. He will finish in fourth for result clothing. And his teammate Mikey Key, after a brush with the wall and with his teammate, is going to finish in fifth spot. Here comes Ryan Walker, the only surviving and therefore winner pro driver. Davis. Oh, we have a battle between May and Hansford.
May closing in on Hansford coming into the very last chicane. Is May going to hop the corner? Well, he hopped over the curb, and Hansford's going to finish in 8th, May in 9th. And that is all the cars coming across the line with Phil Regan and that Red Bull Digi Camo car, Dazzle Camo, coming across the line right there. But what a drive by Sebula right there for the win. He has to be pumped for that race after he did. Well, it's just evident from those donuts right there.
And, you know, your first victory is always the best, you know, so...
Oh, it's always the sweetest.
Here we go. These are going to be a mess. The final race results for race 2. Oh, dear.
Jaroslav Sebula finally gets to stand on top of the podium, and he's definitely going to be drinking down the champagne. Not too much. He got one more race to go, but he takes the win. He's followed by race 1 winner Scott Malcolm, Carl Jacqueline, Mick Barry, Mikey Key, Ryan Walker, Russell Davis, Steve Hansford, Edward May, Andy Maxwell finishes 1 lap down. Those are the wheel contenders. They're followed by Steve Cooley, Alex Lewis, Dale Benison, David Ayers, Mark Westwood, Phil Regan, Wouter van Essen, Alan Toon, Jez Banks, and the barrel roll meister himself, Tyler Maxson.
Absolutely. Let's go. First, we will show you the reverse grid. Then I want to go and take a look again at the start, because, you know, drivers out of position because of the mistake with the reverse, you know, with the reverse grid. So, but first, what could be at the most a 10-car reverse? Here we go. it's -4, so as per usual, -2, -3, -4 equals full, and so 10 cars will be reversed for this third and final race of the day. So easy calculation for all the parties involved. And the pole sitter, of course, is going to be the driver who finished in 10th, Andy Maxwell, Edward May in 2nd, Hansford, Russell Davis, Ryan Walker will be 5th, but of course he will start from the back due to, this being, himself being a pro driver. Before we go, let's see if iRacing still has in his memory the start of the race. I want to see what happened. Especially with Jazz Banks. So here we go.
So Jess Banks coming out of the starting line. There's Tyler Maxon and Sebla going around the outside, but Jess Banks just lost it. Comes up on the inside, onto that inside part of the track, but they were the only one that was there.
I thought this was a much bigger wreck, you know.
You thought wrong.
Yeah, I thought it was going, it was. Then there was another car running around with his front end missing, but I have, tough to see, to understand who it was. Maybe it was Edward May. I don't know. There's so much
All I
action.
do know, race 2 was by far the craziest race, and it shouldn't be a short wait. Unlike, it should be a shorter wait, unlike the gap between race 1 and race 2. We should have everything unlocked. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in for race 2. Stay tuned for race 3 here in Charlotte. Will Scott Malcolm grand slam the podium?
growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Howdy, everybody, and welcome back to the final race under the lights. It's nighttime here at the BSR MX5 Monday Cup for race 3 and the final race of the season under the lights. Rolling start. It's time to get on and get going here in Charlotte. But first, here is your grid. It's Ryan Walker starting off on pole, followed by Mikey Kane, Mick Barron, Carl Jacqueline, Scott Malcolm going for that grand slam of podium finishes with that race 1 win. Race 2, second place, and Yaroslav Sebla taking the win last time. He's followed by Russell Davis, Steve Hansford, Edward May, Andy Maxwell, Steve Cooley, Alex Luis, Dale Bennison, David Ayers, Mark Westwood, Phil Regan, Futa Van Essen, Alatoon, Adrian Hendy, Jez Banks with Tyler Barrel Roll Maxon starting off last in 21st.
Yes, so the pro drivers have been given the traditional end-of-line penalty, so you can see Ryan Walker is there together with Footer Van Essen and Adrian Hendy. And Tyler Maxon rounding up the field of the amateurs as... here we go, this is Mikey Key getting ready to start. And, you know, it's a track...
out of NASCAR 1,
yeah.
So got a bit of track left as a...
Yeah, I mean, I always get confused, but yes. I mean, but you know, good thing if we jump on board with Mikey, you can see it's a, you know, one of those tracks that are, you know, ready for night racing in iRacing. So we have no scary pictures of cars running around with only their headlights as the light source, and a scary void behind them, which is very, very scary if you ask me.
Oh yeah, It was like that in Indianapolis last week.
Yeah.
Indianapolis doesn't really have set up lights around the infield. It does not. It kind of has some on the oval, but they weren't that effective. They used a little trick where it wasn't really nighttime. It was just a very cloudy evening at sunset to
Look
get
how
that
bright
nighttime look.
the track is right now. I love this. Gives the feel of a big-time night race. The crowd is there. You should see them flash their cameras, if I'm not mistaken. when the big overtakes happen. Pace car is in, here we go.
Well, the pace car pulls off. The lights are on. It's under the lights. We got night racing as they enter the final chicane. One last time for race 3 here in the BSR MX5 Amateur Cup. And what a start by Mikey Key leading out the field. Mick Berry and Carl Jacqueline going side by side heading into turn 1. Carl Jacqueline going to try to hold it around the outside. Mick Berry up on the inside. They are going side by side, but Mick Berry is going to hold that off for second place. Sebula jumps up 2 spaces up on Scott Malcolm. And he's up in 4th. Everyone looking to keep it clean. No major incidents unlike last time. And we finally have a clean turn 1. As I almost jinxed that as Edward May swings up onto the inside after a little bit of oversteer, but he kept his car fairly out of the wall. Alan Toon and Jez Banks going side by side. They're coming up into the rising. But Mikey Key, what a jump he's had out of the start. Already 7/10 up on Mick Berry and Carl Jacqueline right behind him.
So who's going to be the first driver to be aggressive in the chicane? Who's going to be the first victim of the chicane? Let's see as they head there for the first time. Mick Berry defending from Jacqueline. Here we go.
Oh, going side by side into the bus stop chicane. Carl Jacqueline leads off the gas. And, ooh, big bite of the curb. Goes McBerry. Oh my goodness. Edward May hops off that curb, but he swings it up onto the inside and hops up into 7th place. That optical car flying down. That is Tyler Maxson. Tyler Maxson's had an issue.
Tyler Maxson has an issue. Oh yes, you are right. Don't tell me.
2 races in a row. And are we gonna see another? No, we did not hit that.
Oh, that's bad luck. Oh, and that's the front left. Done for him.
That wheel's gone.
Yeah. So we were
Tyler
talking with him, you know, about redemption in race 3, and sadly that was not the case for him. Also, he will not be very happy because there was a bit of luck contact there. You can see there was like half a meter between the 2 cars. So bad luck there, but of course, those are the risks, you know, of this job, especially when you are. You know, on another continent compared to most of the drivers in the race, and the server.
Yeah, he's from America. Wanted to have a little bit of hometown fun in the British League, and what was stopping him? Not much, and you know, unfortunately, just lag. As we got a nice pack of cars right here. Malcolm, Davis, and May. They're going to go 3 wide. Well, May make it looking to go 3 wide, but May swinging around the outside of Davis going into the chicane. He was not letting up at all. If they were going to pack up on him, he was going to let it. As Barry, Jacqueline, and Sebla, they're getting pretty feisty coming out of NASCAR 2 and coming into the chicane. Here comes Sebla up on the inside. He's got 1. He's got 2. 2 cars collected, and they spin around, and Sebla escapes with no harm, no foul. I think he's cut the corner, but that was a very aggressive move going 3 wide into the chicane. And that was not going to work out in any way as it's utter chaos heading into turn 1.
That was a massive send. Maybe too aggressive, maybe too optimistic, you know. Maybe still on the high for the race 2, race win for the Polish driver. Now is, you know, being pressured by... Oh, David Ayers with issues. And Andy Maxwell as well.
I see him spinning in the inside of the Volvo in that red, white, and blue right there. I was watching the replay of that, and that was just a racing incident. Just 2 guys going side by side, and out of nowhere comes a 3rd guy. And when you're going side by side, you aren't thinking of 2 cars over, as we're gonna watch the replay right here. But all 3 of them going 3 wide right here, and a little bit of fan out correction. I don't believe he knew that Sebla was even there.
Wow,
Sebla gave him room.
Sebula didn't even touch both of them. They collided with each other, which was, you know...
that was defensive driving, just unable to be communicated to 3 cars. That's why going 3 wide.
Oh!
Oh my goodness! Car! Barry! After the chicane incident, Hobbs hot potatoes his wheels side by side. Looked like he was jumping rope right there as he gets killed by the bus stop chicane. Speaking of chicane, side by side they go as Cooley hops over a curb and absolutely almost brake checks the car back on him. And now the battle for second. It battles are happening all over the place. Malcolm and May. Malcolm under pressure by May. May just looking on the other side of Malcolm, trying to find anywhere, as this is lap 4 out of 11, as there's smoke all over the short chute.
Yeah, mess all around. Charles Kellyman is commentating on the chat that this is crazy, but you know, Charles, it's the same when you race. Maybe when you are racing, you're only focused on your race. You know, even though I have to say this has been a particularly chaotic round, especially race 1 and race 3, and you know, race 3 has just started on board with Edward May, pointing at the rear end of Scott Malcolm's car, and here we go, side by side into the chicane.
Edward May's got the run. Scott Malcolm gave him the position, but is Scott Malcolm going to let him through? No, he doesn't. Scott Malcolm cuts the front nose off of Edward May. They keep it cleanly through there, as we're looking back at the battle for 7th between Benison and Hansford.
Oh, I hear something.
Up, chaos in front of him.
Russell Davis.
That's Russell Davis. He's going slow. He's hit the wall. Well, he's had a spin. I don't know if he's hit the wall or not.
No, he's got no front bumper, so I think he's hit the wall somewhere.
Tank slapper.
Oh no, maybe that's no, is that the design of his car? Sorry. Oh dear. Yeah, I deserve that. Mikey Key under pressure from Sebula. Let's change gear and talk about this fight for the win. Sebula going for the 2nd race win in a row. He had to make an aggressive move a few laps ago in the you know that on the replay we saw he didn't have contact with none of his 2 opponents. It looked like he made, you know, a clean strike of both of them, but it was not. It was just a very aggressive send, and Mikey Key, he doesn't like that wall very much, the one we have just passed, so Sebula certainly putting on the pressure, and of course with the help of the slipstream might go ahead and go for a move on his rival of Resolve Clothing.
Sebula getting his first win ever under his belt. He's looking for his 2nd win. They're going to go side by side into the bus of chicane. Mikey Key is going to gain the lead through there, but Sebula's just going to sit back, relax, take a chill. You got 6 laps remaining here in Charlotte at the Roval. Coming up into chicane, is Sebula going to try to make him move up the inside a la Mikey Key style, or not? They're just going to keep it clean through there. Sebula hopping over the curbs, and he's just going to follow him close, but I think Sebula's up on the inside. Yes, he is. Ooh. They're getting very dicey at the front. This is the battle to watch up here. It's chaos all over the place, but these 2 guys are having a clean battle with each other.
Look how much they are slipping and sliding through the infield section, and fantastic run from the Polish driver. Also, look at that. Edward May is coming for these 2 guys.
Yeah, this might be a 3-way fight for the lead and the win in the final race of the day. Sebula and Mikey Key, and here comes Edward May. He's joined the fight. He's within a second of Sebula as they're coming on to NASCAR 1 and 2. Sebula sitting on the back, and he's got the overspeed. He's going to go for the outside line. Mikey Key just holding that inside line, but Sebula, I think he's lifting off the gas, saving a bit of fuel, and sitting behind him. Nope, he's going to switch on to the inside. Mikey Key, he has to tap on the brakes. Sebula had that much speed on him as they're going into the bus stop chicane. Good defensive driving by Sebula, avoiding any incidents, avoiding any risky drive for there in the final race. You want to, once you win, you don't want to stop winning, and he's definitely caught the bug right here in the lead once more. Sebula, he's going to go make a move onto the inside. Sebula does not get the move. He gets his front nose chopped off by Mikey Key. Now we are 3 wide across the line as May has joined the party and into turn 1. Here it comes out of nowhere. Sebula tapped the side of Mikey Key. I believe that was out of retaliation, and into the lead, taking pure advantage of that. 2 cars in 1 quarter after that incident. Edward May of Fury Sim Sport Academy, a guy we see at the front a lot, is back in the lead. And that is exactly what we saw.
Mikey Key, good save, but I think he's sporting some damage. Here comes Malcolm. I was trying to look. Yeah, also if Sebula's car is damaged or not. Let's see a replay. Why not? As we see.
Now what happened here is after all that little jibber jabber out of the chicane, they went 3 wide, and what happened going 3 wide into the chicane, this is exactly the same thing, but just reverse. Sebula just gave room, and Mikey Key turns into Sebula after Sebula gives gave Edward May the room, and this is exactly the same thing as what happened during the chicane. It's just reverse of situation into a different corner. They tried to go 3 wide. It didn't work. The positions were not really known there. Mikey Key didn't know that Edward May was on the inside, and so I believe that will be discussed after the race.
Absolutely, as we head onto the start-finish line. The 8th lap has just started. Edward May, Sebula, Scott Malcolm now on the podium, and he could really do well.
He could grand slam it right here if he stays in third.
Now I'm seeing Mark Westwood having a top speed on the front stretch of 447 kilometers per hour, which I think it will have some problems going past the post-race tech inspection.
I say 173.
Yeah, now, but a few seconds ago it was 447.
Well, they strapped rockets onto the back of that car.
Ooh, in the wall, Sebula. Mistake coming out of the chicane. Big damage. Look how much time he's losing. Let's jump on board with him and see on the straight.
He's going 99 miles an hour. Scott Malcolm is going 115 right behind him.
Look at the wheel. The wheel. Look at the wheel. He's holding it to the left.
Oh, he's pointing it to the left. And coming out of chicane, here comes Malcolm, and boom. P2. Oh, and Mikey Key. Very defensive. Gets onto the apron of the car. That upset the car, but they kept it on the road as Sebula falls back down. Mikey Key's going to be smiling in his helmet after seeing that. Malcolm a little bit too deep into the corner. Mikey Key with the switchback, and he jumps up into P2. Malcolm, though, kept it on the island and out of the wall as Mikey Key is going to lead it in to turn 1 onto lap 9. We're looking back at Malcolm and Sebula in there as Tyler Barrel Maxon is back on track and he's in P12.
So I was thinking about Mikey Key and his car, seems to be in decent shape. Now if that's going to be enough to go and catch May, I don't think so, because there are 5 seconds between the pair, so certainly
they
May
all have damage in this group. I believe the only car that does not have damage is
maybe Malcolm?
No, it has to be Jacqueline. I believe Malcolm also has a bit of damage.
Well, let's keep an eye then on Jacqueline. The car behind Jacqueline is David Ayres, he's 1 lap down, so discount him. And also Dale Bendison is, massive way behind. So let's focus on who is going to get the podium. 2nd and 3rd place are up for grabs.
Jacqueline just hit the curb. Jacqueline hit the curb, shot up straight up the track, kept the car in, but he's going much slower than everyone else in there. Keeping a lot of speed, being lost, but he's fallen back off this field. So I believe we should be watching Scott Malcolm and Mikey Key battle it out for P2.
Yeah,
I believe Malcolm has a clean car.
Yeah, but Malcolm made a mistake, and now he is losing contact quickly with his teammate, as we have a mess at the final chicane.
That's Hansford spun around in the bus stop chicane. What's happened right here as Tyler Max is coming into the bus stop chicane right now. Hansford, watch out!
Ooh. So here we go.
Like a spotter right here. So this is Hansford around the outside. Side by side, he just gets turned. A little bit corrected and spun around. And luckily he's just deposited up on the inside. No one else collected into him. That could have been very, very unfortunate for him. I don't know who's turned him.
I think that was Steve Hansford, maybe? Or maybe Wouter van Essen?
I believe that was Essen.
Yeah.
As Edward May leading it out into NASCAR 1 as Sebula falls to Jacqueline for P4. Sebula in that very damaged car. He has suspension damage and he's going to fall down to David Ayres in that Labs car.
White flag is in the air.
So the white flag flies. Edward May's got a 7-second gap to 2nd place. And that 2nd place battle is between Mikey Key and Scott Malcolm. So they're very spread out at the front. All this is a very heavy action place, but that's not stopping these guys from going at it around the outside. Gets tapped by a net-coated car. He loses it, and Steve Cooley falls down into P10. That car blinking out of there at the wrong time. We're looking
Careful.
at Edward May. Ooh, that wheel is going all over the place. You can see how much that car is trimmed down to be as loose as possible. But Edward May controlling that thing wisely as he's commanding this race, almost 8 seconds in the lead and up 8 places from where he started. Through the bus stop chicane, coming in to NASCAR 2 or 3 and 4, like they say. But one last time, going in to the chicane. Once more, Fury Simsport Academy is on top of the podium. A little bit of jump of excitement, and it's Edward May taking the win in race 3. Mikey Key coming down in P2 and 3, but the battle for left between Maxwell and Banks. Banks is that year 1 Fury Simsport Academy car. They're racing it out, coming in to the bus stop chicane. Watch for Maxwell to get a good run on this. They don't see that slow car right there. Banks goes onto the apron, and he touched Hansford right there. Hansford not having a lot of damage, but Maxwell, he lifted off the gas, and he's going to be behind there, but he's going to send it way up into the
contact!
And he actually takes out Jess Banks, and Hansford is going to get that place back, and Banks is not going to be happy. There's chaos behind them as well, as Davis was turned by
I think Cooley.
Cooley.
Contact with Steve Cooley.
Turned him. And it's utter chaos in the back end as they're doing donuts on the infield right here. What has happened with it? So this is Andy Maxwell. He just, well, he licked
This is like Johnson and Truex, like almost identical crash to Johnson and Truex. It's Cooley and Davis. So Davis with a massive send. Cooley maybe doesn't expect this, doesn't see the car on the inside. On the inside, they make contact. Fair to say the teams will have a lot of talk and repairs to do after this race, but congratulations to Edward May, and let's go in a second through your official race results for race 3. Just a second. Here we go.
And after a crazy rate, on a scale of 1 to 10, this was a pure 8 in insanity. Race 3, under the lights, Edward May takes the win, followed by Mikey Key. Scott Malcolm Grant slams the podium with the win in race 1, second in race 2, and third in race 3. He's going to be a very happy man. He's followed by Carl Jacqueline, Yaroslav Sebla, Ryan Walker, Huta Van Essen, Dale Bennison, Mark Westwood, Tyre Barrel Roll Maxon, Steve Hansford, Jess Banks, Andy Maxwell, Steve Cooley, Alan Toon, Russell Davis, David Ayers, Alex Luis, Phil Regan, Mick Berry, and Adrian Hendy finishing at the end of the grid. What a action-filled race we've had today.
Absolutely. I mean, that was fantastic stuff, and I'm sure the drivers will be here for interviews. Let's see.
Yeah, we got Edward May. Let's get the race 3 winner in here.
I ended up
hey.
Very rudely
Edward
interrupted.
terribly sorry. Yeah, just having a chat with Max, and yeah, but I'm here now. Yeah. Cool.
Congrats on the win in race 3. That was a chaotic race, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was certainly something. I was confused because I think reverse grid might put me second, but I just took it on the chin, thought knuckle down and come through, and I won the race. So that was about as good as I could have expected, really. I was happy.
In race 1 and 2, you were pretty much buried in the field in all that craziness. What was the most intense moment of that race?
There were a few intense moments, mostly when I was, I think, race 1, where I lost it going onto the banking, tried to stay left out of the way. Unfortunately, Tyler collected me. It was just unfortunate racing incident. before that, I think going to the chicane, I saw on the replay that it looked like I tapped in through the right and left, but for me there wasn't even a 0x, so I wasn't entirely sure what happened. But a move opened up afterwards, so I went for it. If you see a move, go for it, and that was what happened in race 3. I saw a move on the inside, turn 1, went 3 wide, but I thought I've got the inside line, took it through and never looked back. Really won the race by a decent margin, so it shows that we've got pace in the car and that we work together as a team. I think 2 wins out of 3 for Fury Sim Sport. Very, very well done for the team. Can't really fault them. Had very, very tricky races. We were a bit bished and bashed left, right, and centre. Certain hiccups behind the scenes, but I won't divulge it now. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
All right. Thank you for that insight. Edward, anyone want to shout out before we head off to Scott?
Yeah, obviously, I'd like to shout out. We had Yarrick in there, we had Alexis, we had Jez, we had Matthias. He was new, but he felt a bit sick after race 1, a bit too sick staring at screens, I think. So we just thought, you can go and have a break. We've got this under control. And turns out we did for the last 2 races. Obviously, got to thank the sponsors. Year 1 HQ, go to year1hq.com, use code May107 and get 10% off your next order. And before I leave, I think I'll just say that this might be my last time racing in the BSR MX5 Monday Series. An opportunity has opened itself up for me to race in the World GT Championships. I think that's also streamed on Apex. So
Yes, it
yeah,
is.
this might be my last time racing, but I've enjoyed my time. If it isn't my last time, well, I'll see you next week. But I've enjoyed my time racing. It's been good fun. Best of luck to Jackalette and Jez in the championship. I see they're gonna might make it exciting.
Well, think hard
Uh,
about it, yeah, because you are ditching me for Sam Fitzpatrick, and
Sorry, Marco, we don't mean it. We love you here at Fury Sim Sport, and you know it. We've got Ed's forever talking about you. He says he misses you. Might want to get a restraining order out. I'm not sure, but he enjoyed you when he was doing V8s. I think he says so.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. But yeah, thank you very much. And if I don't see you next week, then I've enjoyed my time thoroughly. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Edward. Once again, congrats on the win. And hopefully we see you next week. But hope the future is bright for you there.
Yeah. I'll remember you when I'm rich and famous.
All right. Thank you. Next in the interview room is the man who grand slammed all races today. He won in race 1. He got a podium in race 2, and he finished out the podium in race 3. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Scott Malcolm.
Hi guys.
Scott, how was that? What a week? What a race for you! Just great 3 races. Finished on the podium. Stood on all steps of the podium. Race 1, when you just absolutely closed in on the 2 leaders due to their fuel issue. What was going through your mind?
I really don't know. I'm just completely speechless. Um, I just don't know what to say. I really am. I'm not usually one for not saying much, but I just don't know what to say. I honestly do not know what to.
All right.
I'm just I think somebody needs to pull me down off the cloud 9. I think.
Okay, Marco, anything you want to ask Scott?
I know it's first of all, congratulations. It's always a popular victory when Scott wins. And what was your thought overall on this track? Because you really seemed at ease running around this very very tricky track that it always gives if you are consistent just like you don't take too many risks. You can get up, having fantastic results, and that I think a track that really suits you because your driving style was really, really well appreciated tonight, and the podiums speak for themselves.
Friday night, I was on the verge of just jacking it because I absolutely hated that track. I went on for a session on Sunday night and it just seemed to click. Mikey Key helped me out with a few things and knocked so like 2 seconds off my lap time and just came on tonight and just everything seemed to go right. Don't know what it is. I don't know if just I really don't know what happened out there. I'm still trying to figure it out myself.
Well, Scott, it was a pleasure. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, Apex for putting on the podcast. You guys for taking up your time for podcasts and commentating and that. Uh, Result Clothing guys and uh, everybody else. And well done to Fury Racing, Fury Motorsport for the 2 wins tonight.
Well, thank you very much, Scott, and we shall catch you next week.
Oh, yes. Yes. After we take off the Cloud9.
Enjoy your victory. Congratulations to Scott Malcolm then. Like I said, Austin, always a popular victory when he wins. So, and when he has a fantastic night like tonight, everyone seems to be very happy. Now we have two colleagues left for in the interview room. Be careful not to carry down with us the War GT drivers because I was confused for a second. What is Michael Evdoka doing in the interview room? I thought, isn't this the Euro V8s? And then I remember.
I'm gonna let you choose it because I actually have to head off after this next interview. So let's bring in Tyler Barrel Maxon.
Don't have too much time to practice. Oh.
That
Welcome,
apparently not too
Tyler.
much time to practice, from what we've heard.
Nope. Sorry about that.
Welcome, Tyler, to the interview room. Race 1 was very aggressive for you, and you finished P2 after a fuel thing, and you wanted redemption. And then race 2 happened. And you decided to earn yourself the new nickname that I'm going to give to you from now on until the end of time. Your name's now Tyler Barrel Roll Maxon.
Yep. Net coach treated me really, really, really well in race 2, and things happen, but yeah, it sucks.
All right. So you said you were talking in between races, and it was very fun talking with you. Since you drive these cars in real life, how was those races? Besides the netcode barrel roll crashing.
For when it was going well, it was really, really good. But then obviously in race 3, I had another hit and was sent up into the wall through NASCAR turn 3 and hit the wall pretty hard. But yeah, I mean, whenever it was going good, it obviously was really, really good, and I was having really a lot of fun. If I could do the series more, I definitely would. And I'm definitely going to try to as much as I can. But yeah, it's just really fitting it in when I actually have a bit of time to practice. Obviously, fitting it in with the real life stuff.
Yeah, Marco, anything you want to say before I actually go to?
Just if he wants to make a quick shout out, the microphone is all yours.
Yeah, definitely. Just want to shout out my real life team, Copal Motorsports. They've helped me out with just kind of figuring out how to build these setups, and I've been doing these now myself. So just figuring everything out, and yeah, definitely the league for putting on a quite good show. So yeah, that's about it.
Thank you very much, Tyler, and we shall catch you next week, or whenever you fancy yourself racing again in the series.
All right, thank you.
And that was Tyler, and I think that Austin needs to leave us right now for some personal, things to do. I think, Austin. So, thank you very much for joining us tonight. And he is on his way out. So, on his behalf, thank you very much. Let's bring in finally Ryan Walker in the interview room. Hello, Ryan.
Hey, Marco.
So, of course, nice to have you in the interview booth. And how is it, you're getting back into the MX5 thing going, because you took some time off from the BSR series. We must not forget that last season you won the UK and Ireland overall championship in the advanced MX5 official series. So, you haven't had a big layoff but still, I think you're still trying to get into the groove.
Yeah, just I was planning to take some time away from the Mazda, and then I was watching the BSR broadcast from last Tuesday, I think it was. Excuse me, at Silverstone. So yeah, that gave me the MX5 the MX5 bug bug back, and yeah, just decided to sign up to the Monday League and just use it as practice, I guess, just to get back in the groove. And yeah, finally got. I was back on the pace tonight, and yeah, had good fun around Charlotte, and yeah, overall the rest of them was good fun.
What about this track? Because we went from the infield road course at Indianapolis to another infield road course here, but completely different. And this one certainly much more tricky and tight and with some very high risk corners.
Yeah, I think yeah, Charlotte is one of those tracks. It's a challenge. It kind of it kind of invites you to try and push as hard as possible, but on the other hand, if you push too hard, you end up making a mistake and hitting the wall. Especially if you go too fast through the fast chicane just before the final couple of corners. If you get sideways through there and you clip one of the sausage curves, it can either unsettle the car or damage your steering, as I found out in race one. But yeah, overall, it's a fun challenging track, and definitely up there as one of my favorites.
And next week the series will be racing at Snetterton in the full 300 layout. Will you be racing there? And what are your thoughts about that particular racetrack?
Yeah, I'll definitely be racing. I don't think I've raced around there in the Mazda, but I've raced around there in the Skip Barber, and it's definitely a fun, challenging track. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's definitely another track that I'll need to learn in the Mazda. So yeah, it should be should excuse me, it should be.
Well, Ryan, thank you for joining us. Once again, congratulations on the nice evening of racing. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Just a big thanks to everyone involved in the BSR Monday Cup that's helped me get back up to speed, and that's been helping out with setup advice and just yeah, helping out in general, especially around Charlotte, because I was struggling a little bit in practice during the week, and finally tonight it just seemed to click. So yeah, thanks to the people involved that's got me up to speed, and just yeah, looking forward to next week.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Nice to have you here in the booth, and well, catch you next time then.
Thanks, Marco.
And that was Ryan Walker, of course, being one of the protagonists tonight, and especially in the Pro Series, getting back in the groove. Certainly, he will be a driver to keep a watchful under a watchful eye, especially if he decides to go back to the proper Tuesday Pro Series. As we are getting ready to close down the broadcast, let me remind you that tonight at 11:45 GMT we are going to have Rick Motek, and it will be the first round of the new season. Rick Motek GT Challenge will be live from Spa Francorchamps tomorrow morning, 10:45 GMT. We are going to have the official IMSA series, SOF race for the Australia, New Zealand, and Oceanic region. And then later in the day at 18 GMT, the VRS Sprint Series. And later in the night at 7:15 GMT, we're going to have the BSR MX5 Pro Series that is going to be live from Charlotte Motor Speedway on the iRacing Esports Network. Wednesday will be off. Thursday we will be back to this racetrack for the BSR TC Series. That will be at 7:15 GMT. On Friday at 7 GMT, there will be a new round of the iRacing Le Mans series. That will be with Sam Kumo. And then on Saturday, the traditional Saturday doubleheader at 13 GMT, we are going to have the Sim Racers Asia F3 series, and later in the night, in the day, I should say, 18 GMT, we are going to have the Euro V8s coming to you live with a triple header from the Foster's layout in Ulton Park. Later still on, well, Sunday, and that's going to be on Sunday at 10:45 a.m. GMT, we are going to have the Aussie Mixed and Fixed GT Development Series that will be taken care of by the Aussie crew, and then back on Monday, of course, we start again with BSR competition. The MX5s will be back same time, same place, well, different place, of course, being in Snetterton 300 layout. That will be at 7:15 GMT as per usual. I really thank you for tuning in with us tonight. From everyone here at Apex Racing TV, of course, from Austin Knight, who has had to jump off a little bit earlier, I am Marco Barbanera, and as per usual, I wish you good night and happy racing.